We've all been there. You just spent a full hour walking your dog. You went for miles, you played fetch, and you finally head back inside expecting your dog to collapse into a peaceful nap. But 10 minutes later, they're pacing the living room. They're barking at the window, digging at the sofa, or dropping a squeaky toy on your lap. They're physically exhausted, yet they're acting like they've just had 3 shots of espresso. In the dog training world, this is often called the tired but wired syndrome. Most owners assume the solution is more miles, more running, more physical exertion. But science suggests that forcing a dog to keep moving without engaging their mind can actually create a super athlete with a stressed out brain. To understand this, we have to explore the fascinating world of canine neuroscience. Surprisingly, just 15 minutes of sniffing can sometimes be more beneficial for a dog's stress levels and mental health than a long power walk. To see why, we first need to understand the anatomy of a dog's sense of smell. Humans are primarily visual creatures. We see the world in high definition, and our sense of smell is relatively weak. On average, humans have about 5 to 6 million scent receptors. For us, a smell is usually just a small hint of something, like the scent of pizza in the oven or a flower nearby. Dogs experience the world very differently. A typical dog can have up to 300 million scent receptors. Their sense of smell may be 10,000 to 100,000 times more sensitive than ours. To imagine this difference, consider that if you could detect a teaspoon of sugar in your cup of coffee, a dog might be able to detect that same teaspoon dissolved in an enormous body of water. When a dog sniffs a patch of grass, they aren't simply smelling dirt. They are gathering detailed information about their environment. They can detect which animals or dogs passed by, how long ago they were there, and even clues about their physical condition or emotional state. The brain plays a major role in processing this information. The olfactory bulb, the part of the brain responsible for analyzing smells, is dramatically larger in dogs relative to their total brain size. Processing all of this sensory information requires significant mental effort. In many ways, intense scent tracking is the canine equivalent of solving complex problems while performing physical activity. The way dogs smell is also very different from the way humans breathe. When humans inhale and exhale, air moves through the same pathway. As we exhale, we push out many of the scent molecules we just inhaled. Dogs have a specialized nasal structure that separates airflow into different channels. One path sends air to the lungs for breathing, while another directs scent particles toward the olfactory system for analysis. This allows dogs to continuously gather scent information without losing it during exhalation. Dogs can also move their nostrils independently. This ability creates a type of stereo smell, allowing them to detect subtle differences in scent strength between each nostril. By comparing these signals, their brain can determine the direction of a smell with remarkable accuracy. During intense sniffing, dogs may take hundreds of small sniffs each minute. This repeated action requires effort from facial muscles and continuous processing within the brain. For a dog's nervous system, this activity represents a form of demanding mental work. Another fascinating aspect involves the connection between sniffing and a dog's emotional state. Physical exercise is often associated with increased heart rate and high energy. However, some forms of activity can actually promote calmness instead of excitement. Observations from behavioral research suggest that when dogs are allowed to sniff freely during walks, their heart rate often decreases. Sniffing can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the system associated with relaxation and recovery. By contrast, a fast-paced walk on a tight leash, where the dog is frequently prevented from stopping to investigate scents, can create frustration. The dog is moving physically, but may remain mentally overstimulated because they are unable to explore their environment. An interesting comparison is to imagine walking through an art gallery while being forced to move quickly without looking at the paintings. The experience would likely feel frustrating rather than enjoyable. For dogs, smells are the equivalent of those artworks. Each scent contains information about their surroundings. Sniffing also stimulates reward pathways in the brain. The activity can trigger the release of neurotransmitters associated with satisfaction and curiosity. In this way, exploring scents provides mental enrichment as well as relaxation. There is also a psychological benefit to what could be described as microscenting. Humans often focus on destinations, moving from one place to another as efficiently as possible. Dogs, however, tend to focus on the present moment. When a dog becomes deeply engaged in a scent, they are concentrating on a single sensory experience. This focused attention can help reduce anxiety and create a sense of calm. In many ways, it resembles mindfulness. Behavior specialists have noticed that dogs who lack opportunities to sniff and explore their environment sometimes develop unusual behaviors. These may include excessive barking, pacing, or destructive chewing. In some cases, these behaviors may reflect boredom or unmet mental needs. Providing opportunities for scent exploration can help satisfy those needs. When dogs gather information about their surroundings, they become more familiar with their territory and may feel more secure within it. Introducing scent-based activities can be simple. Instead of rushing through a walk, allow your dog time to investigate interesting smells. Following their nose can turn an ordinary walk into a mentally stimulating experience. Another method is scatter feeding. Rather than serving food in a bowl, you can scatter kibble across a grassy area. This encourages the dog to search for each piece using their sense of smell. You can also create simple scent games indoors. Hiding treats around a room and allowing the dog to locate them transforms the home into a puzzle that engages their brain. Tools designed for scent play, such as textured feeding mats, can also provide similar stimulation. These mats hide food within layers of fabric, encouraging the dog to use their nose to find it. Activities like these give dogs a sense of purpose. When a dog has an engaging task, they are often less likely to develop destructive habits or excessive barking. Ultimately, it can be helpful to rethink the purpose of a walk. Instead of viewing it only as exercise to burn energy, it can also serve as an opportunity for your dog to explore the sensory information around them. Even if you only have a short amount of time, allowing your dog to slowly investigate their surroundings may be more beneficial than rushing through a long distance. By following their nose and allowing them to gather information, you support both their mental and emotional well-being. When you return home after this kind of exploration, you may notice a different kind of tiredness. Instead of restless energy, your dog often settles into a calm and satisfied state. Their body and mind have both been engaged. Understanding how important scent is to dogs can transform the way we interact with them. Sometimes the most effective way to tire a dog isn't by making them run farther, but by letting them explore the invisible world carried in the air around them. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more insights into how your dog's brain works. And think about your own dog's favorite sniffing spot in the neighborhood. It might be telling them an entire story you can't even see. I'll see you in the next video.